be one of the little people she remembers. The crime scene tape is actually quite apt, because the first scene of this book is set in this very room, the Stout Lounge of the Pilot Tavern. I understand that the actual event as described is more or less entirely accurate, which alarms me. When, as a lawyer, I strongly suggested that Jill send the book, or at least the relevant excerpt, to the owners of the Pilot Tavern, which she did. They were very sporting about having their fine establishment named in the book. But I did remind them that truth is a defense to libel. I have to say, Jill has many gifts as an author. What I didn't understand until I read in particular the fetish scene that was set here is that one of her true gifts is to make sex so utterly unappealing. I like sex, but that scene, man, I mean, there's a scene in which somebody slaps what is described as a cottage cheese ass. And I have to tell you that as a result, my breakfast regimen changed. I also mentioned that the book deals with politicians, and in particular aspiring municipal politicians, and more particularly those aspiring to the mayor. There are similarities, shall we say, between certain characters in the book and the last mayoral race. The problem with combining a fetish book and Toronto mayors is that I keep thinking of Rob Ford in a mesh undershirt and a golden thong. The weird thing is, in my vision, his nipple ring keeps getting stuck in the mesh. So thanks, Joe, for that. Speaking of which, I will note only in passing, and you'll understand this, that the former Mayor Miller's doppelganger is here tonight. I should also say, on a more serious note, this is Jill's second book with Iguana Publishing. To start a publishing venture in this climate at this time is either an act of insanity or great faith. But I can tell you that from Jill's perspective, Iguana has been enormously supportive, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for launching this venture at this point, because I'm still naive enough to believe that reading is important. That puts me very much in the minority, speaking of Rob Ford, as we were. Jill wants to read something. I don't know what she wants to read. In fact, I don't know where the hell she is. So, without much further ado, I will ask you to be attentive while Jill reads from her latest missive and entertains us all, as she always does. And ladies and gentlemen, Jill Edmondson.
In a minute.
Wow. Book 3, my God. So, I'm really, really happy to see so many people here. I can't believe that there's people from Montreal and from Ottawa and lots from Toronto, yes, Rob. I'm very, very lucky to have so many wonderful friends and family and co-workers. Thank you. I'd really like to also thank my dad for coming from Ottawa and Beverly Cote coming from Montreal. And Danielle from Montreal, where is she? Well, thank you for coming very much. A lot of people helped me turn a manuscript into an actual book. Greg Ioannou kept me from completely losing my mind. So a big hearty thanks to Greg. Jade? Also, Jade Colbert, Jack Steiner, and Ainsley and Stacy and all of the rest of the iguanas. They've been fantastic. So thank you to everybody at Iguana. I also need to thank Jennifer Stellings. She couldn't be here tonight, so that's too bad. But Jennifer is the one who designs the book cover. She did the last one as well. And as with the last one, she designed this cover from only having read the synopsis. She hadn't even read the book. And she totally nailed it. I love her design, and so I'm very happy with that. So that's Jennifer Stellings. I have some awesome students who are helping out tonight. They're selling books and they're giving out flowers and they're taking pictures and doing all sorts of great things. So it's the same trio that was here last time helping at the lunch party. It's Jennifer and Tanya and Tom. And thank you guys, I really appreciate it. And they're also really great tweeters. Yay. A great big hearty thank you to Iden Ford and Tavish. They're taking all these pictures and making everybody look just so darn good. So thanks again. And then of course there's Moose and Bobby. Moose and Bobby, they never tell me what they're going to do. No. They did this amazing book cover, poster, and that one, and there's a third one up at the front. They did all of these roses, and yes, those are real roses. Fantastic. Oh, good. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Moose and Bobby. You went like way over top. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then, of course, there's Patty Cote. Patty made all of these naughty cookies. Has everybody seen her?
All right, Trevor.
I was howling when I saw the first batch of these X-rated bondage gingerbread sugar cookies, gingerbread man, whatever you call them. Fantastic. I should mention that Patty is also one of my first readers. She sees the Sasha manuscripts before anyone else does, well, except for one other person. She sees them in the very early stages, and she gives me lots of wonderful suggestions and valuable feedback, and I really appreciate it. And I truly could not ask for a better friend. She's amazing. So yay, Patty. Yay, Patty. And then, of course, there's Derek. I have to thank Derek for a whole lot, especially for keeping me out of jail. That's pretty much a full-time job, keeping me out of jail, keeping me from getting sued, keeping me from shooting my mouth off. Basically, he walks around all day saying, "No, Jill, you can't do that. No, Jill. No, no, Jill. No." Yeah. And he's also one of my first readers. I call on him. I get a lot of fodder from Derek, first of all, and I call on him for help if I'm stuck on a word or for fact checking, or more likely I call on him if I need a song title or a musical reference. So basically he's Wikipedia with a pulse, and he never lets me down. So thanks to Derek. I have to thank the folks at the pilot, not just the amazing staff that are working tonight, and especially to Michelle for helping me plan this event, but I have to thank the bar itself. Oh yes, the pilot. This book was inspired by events that took place when I worked here from 1998 to 2000 while I was in university. So if you're doing the math, that either makes me 31 now, or I started university when I was 31. Take your pick. Just to make sure that I don't get sued, there's a little author's note at the beginning of the book, so if you want to take a look at that. It's a work of fiction, I know because I made it up. However, the Pilot Tavern is real, and the second floor party room, called the Stealth, which is this room, does exist. Plus there's an awesome rooftop patio called the Flight Deck. I'm forever coming across people who tell me they have special memories, albeit fuzzy ones, of hanging out here over the years. If you've never been to the Pilot, you owe it to yourself to check it out. So, yes, the Pilot. So now about the book. This is my third book launch in just under 2 years. Yeah, wow. The Blood and Groom launch party was December 8th, 2009. So understandably, people think that I've been writing like a demon, and that's actually not the case, not at all. So I started writing this book in 2005. Yes, really, I started writing this book 6 years ago. And as I mentioned, I worked here from 1998 to 2000. So the idea for the book has actually been in the back of my head for much, much longer than just since 2005. And back then, in 98 to 2000, it was more a case of, I'd never written anything at that point and had no idea that I ever would. It was more a case back then of saying, hey, you know, this would be a great idea for a mystery. As we worked in this room, and Dad, close your ears, there were fetish parties here, and it was really strange. It was a strange, strange environment. So yes, it struck me back then that this would be a really cool setup for a murder mystery. And then in about 2005 onwards, I started writing the book. And up until not that long ago, I was just calling it the fetish book. So I kept getting stuck on the plot, and I would try various things, and I thought I could make it work, and I'd get really fed up, and I'd delete everything and rip it up and throw it out. And then I'd start over, and same thing would happen. So I finally just shelved it, and I wrote Bloody Room in about 6 months. That one was easy. It was bang, done. And then after that one came out, I thought, well, I'll try this again. And I kept getting stuck, and I couldn't make it work, so I ended up writing Dead Lake District, and that only took about 5 months to write. Meanwhile, this fetish book was still sitting there, not done. I had ideas, but I just thought, that's not believable. The strange thing is most of the unbelievable stuff is also the true stuff, but no one would buy it. Really. So then finally, last fall, when Toronto had their mayoral election, it finally hit me. I had the backstory and the inspiration I needed to get this book to work. And if you look at page 118, at the bottom half of that big long paragraph, you'll know what I mean. Oh, that was well timed. Oh, well, okay, I'm not busy. No, not at all. So page 118, the last part of that big long paragraph. Fortunately, there were almost no signs for the 300-pound, donut-snarfing, subliterate, right-wing troglodyte, the only candidate whose victory would make me want to self-immolate in front of a library. I made it up, really. I just wanted to see if anybody would get up and walk out at that part. Thank God no one did, okay? So, if we go to, I'm going to do a reading from page 70. And again, this is fiction. Really it is. Really, Dad, it's fiction.
I believe you.
Cool.
The lights have it. Don't they always?
Okay, so I'll have you know today was very busy. Dad picked up the phone as he spoke to me. I spent the afternoon training some new players for my blackjack team. Believe it or not, my dad, a retired math professor, is now a professional card counter. I have a new shuffle tracking theory I'm eager to try out in Vegas. Well, of course, Dad. Win lots and get me the pony I've always wanted for my birthday, okay? Dad was staring absently at the phone in his hand. Dad, the pizza place is number 3 on the speed dial? Oh, yeah, right. Thanks. Are you going to whine if I get anchovies on it? Well, he who pays gets to decide, I said. Okay, well then I'll get double cheese to mask the fishy taste. Then why not omit the anchovies altogether? I thought but didn't say. I took the cribbage board off the shelf above the fridge and grabbed 2 cans of beer. I passed Dad a can, and I parked myself in the kitchen chair. I aimlessly shuffled the deck of cards as Dad drove the order taker nuts. The mathematician in him makes ordering a pizza much more complicated than it needs to be. The coupon I got with my last order offers 2 mediums for the price of 1, but only with 3 toppings. Is there 3 toppings altogether, or is it 3 on each pizza? A pause. Oh, and how much extra is it for additional toppings? Another pause. Oh, I see. Does double cheese count as 2, or is it 1? I shuffled the cards some more. Well, what about the coupon in today's paper? It says they can get an extra large for $19.99 and a second extra large for half price. He tapped at a calculator as he spoke. I took a swig of my beer. Works out to be cheaper per slice if I get the extra large. Can we get a side order of your crispy wings with that? What sizes do they come in? How many wings can 2 people eat? A pizza? No, 30's too many. I don't know if I'm that hungry. He tapped some more on the calculator and jotted some numbers down on the scratch pad beside the phone. Oh, okay then, a dozen. Barbecue sauce for the wings. And what about a box of your wedgie fries? How much are those? Another pause. Dad, don't forget to ask for a side of hot sauce for me. Dad ignored me. I can get the wedgie fries for free with an order of 30 wings or more? Oh, well, do the wings freeze well if we have leftovers? Another pause. I felt so sorry for the person on the other end of the phone. I'd like to get a side order of hot sauce too, please. It's not extra, is it? Sometimes I'm embarrassed to admit that he's my father. And lots of napkins too, please. There was a whole package of napkins in the pantry. Okay, yes, I'll be paying cash. I was almost finished my beer, so I grabbed another. Dad finally ended the call, for no other person is ordering a pizza such an ordeal. It'll be here in 30 minutes, he said. Dad, it took you almost that long to order it. And then there's another little short bit that makes me laugh. I have a feeling I'm about to be put up for adoption. The other little part that made me chuckle is page 48. So actually, with this book, you kind of get 3 plots in one. So it's not just that there's a fetish that relates to this, a murder mystery that relates to this fetish thing, but there's also a restaurant client that Sasha's working for, and she starts off the book by looking for a teenaged runaway. So on page 48, around the middle, Sasha's chasing down leads to try and find this teenage girl that's taken off from home. A few of the punks hanging out in front of the Evergreen Center for Youth were borderline helpful. Yeah, I know for sure. I seen her around a couple of days ago, said a guy in a hoodie. He passed the photo to the freckle-faced girl standing next to him. Yeah, sure, it was yesterday, she said. The girl looked about 15 years old and about 6 months pregnant. She asked about places to hang out, you know, like the scene. I'm flattered that you think I'm hip enough to know the scene, but I haven't got a clue what you mean. There's nothing more humbling than vocalizing one's unhipness. If I were going to spend much more time talking to the under-20 crowd, I'd have to bone up on current slang. An Urban Dictionary tutorial might be in order. Yeah, she asked about scoring some clarity, said Preggers. Clarity? Was anything but clear to me. Yeah, you know, Adam, the love drug, E. Ah, yes, E. Ecstasy. The latest drug to capture the attention of teenaged morons. Methylene dioxymethamphetamine, short form MDMA, which explains the street name Adam. I'm unsure what would explain the nickname Clarity, but I sensed I'd actually have to try the drug to understand, and I'm just not that dedicated to my job. So where might she find some clarity, I asked. Where can't you find it is a better question, said the guy in the hoodie. Well, he had me there. Okay, well, if you see Macy, give me a call, I said as I dug in my purse for one of my business cards. Preggers pocketed my number. When are you due? I asked her. He's supposed to pop out on December 25th. He's going to be a boy. I'm very happy for you, I said. Actually, I wasn't. Call me old-fashioned, but I think there should be a checklist before people are allowed to reproduce. Finishing high school would be the first parental criterion, and a permanent address would be number 2. Have you chosen a name yet? Yeah, I'm going to name him Noel, like, you know, for Christmas. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah? You think so? I think so too, but, like, what if he doesn't come out exactly on Christmas Day? Would Noel still be a good name? Well, if he comes out on December 26th, you could always think about calling him Rocky. Okay, maybe. I admit the Boxing Day reference is rather oblique. Here, I passed her $20. Grab a bite, you're eating for 2. Okay, thanks very much.
Well, it's not water, and it's not gin.
Good.
But it's something with which we can toast Jill. So, first of all, Jack, I'm sorry that happened to you. That was entirely unnecessary. Second of all, to Jill, to Sasha, and to continued success, and may there be many more adventures.
Cheers. Folks, please do stick around because I know there's a lot of you I haven't had much chance to chat with. I'll be signing books for a little while longer, and the bar's still